My daughter, don't worry, you are going to win the prince's heart after dressing you up.
Heart of Amaechi, a village known for its thick forests, great earth, and vibrant traditions, lived a man named Ikenga. He was one of the wealthiest farmers in the village. His barns were always full. His garage overflowed with yams. I had plenty of goats and cows. Ikenga was admired by many for his success. Those who truly knew him understood that his wealth does not reflect the condition of his heart. Ikenga had two wives. His first wife, Funke, was from the western part of the country. She was hardworking and full of wisdom, and she bore him a beautiful daughter named Dera. His second wife, Nkechi, was from his village. She had a corny, selfish heart and was known for her sharp tongue. Nkechi gave birth to two daughters, Ijeoma and Ifeoma, and a son named Chikamso. Although both women lived within the same compound, they were treated very differently. Ikenga adored Nkechi. He sang her praises at every given opportunity, and ensured she lacked nothing. She had golden earrings, new wrappers, and the special dishes. She always had the best. However, Funke, despite her kind heart and relentless efforts on the farm and at home, was not as fortunate. Ikenga treated her like nobody. Further, it was because of her ancient, or because she wasn't from his tribe. Maybe he simply never loved her. Regardless of the reason, he treated her like an outsider in her own home. Funke and Dera lived quiet in a small mud hut at the back of the compound, away from the main house. Funke had no close friends in the village, so he spent most of her time playing the talking drum, a precious gift from her late father. The drum was more than just an instrument. It was her source of joy, her voice, and her only companion in times of loneliness. She taught Dera how to play, and the quiet of the evening, mother and daughter would sit together under the mango tree, singing a beat to the drum to chase away their sorrow. Years passed and the children grew. Dera blossomed into a stunning young girl. Her eyes were gentle, her heart pure, her hands hardworking. She inherited her mother's calm spirit and deep wisdom, but the pain of being unloved in her father's house followed her like a shadow. Then one rainy season, Funke fell terribly ill. Her once vibrant body weakened, and her eyes lost their shine. Dera ran to her father, panic in her voice. "Papa, Mama is very sick. She needs help." But he simply replied, "Let her rest. Maybe it is her time." That was all he said. No concern, no help. Nkechi, on the other hand, completely ignored her. Not a single herb remedy, not a drop of water, not a word of kindness came from her. Dera, still a teenager, tried her best, fetching herbs, cooking warm food, and fanning her mother's weak body, but the sickness only worsened. One cold morning, as the rain fell softly on the leaking roof, Funke took her last breath, holding Dera's hand. "My daughter, never let this word hidden your heart. Keep beating your drum," she whispered before her eyes closed forever. Dera screamed and wept, but no one came to comfort her. Her mother was buried like a stranger, without a proper farewell, without mourning, just a shallow grave behind the compound. Then life moved on, at least for everyone else. From that day on, Dera became a slave in her own father's house. Nkechi and her daughter turned her into their house help. She cooked, cleaned, fetched firewood, brought water from the stream, and ran endless errands. She was always the last to eat. Sometimes she wasn't even given food at all. Her father watched silently, never offering a hand or a word of comfort. Nkechi felt invisible to her, yet she never complained. She handled everything with quiet grace. Her only escape was her mother's talking drum. which she kept hidden under a mat. At night, when the house was silent, she would sneak out to the backyard, sit under the stars, and play softly, singing songs that only the wind could hear. Her stepsister mocked her. "You think you're special because of that stupid drum?" Ijoma would sneer. "Play all you want, but that drum won't bring back your useless mother." They laughed, but Dera remained silent. One day, a wealthy farmer named Ndukwe from a neighboring village came to Ikenga's compound. He had heard tales of a beautiful and hardworking girl named Dera. He arrived bearing gifts, tubers of yam, gallons of palm oil, and 2 healthy goats. Bowing respectively, he said, "I've come to ask Dera's hand in marriage." Ikenga looked pleased, and I was about to speak when Nkechi stepped forward quickly. "Dera, marry? Who will do the housework if she leaves? This girl is not ready for marriage," she said sharply. "I cannot allow it. Come back another time. She's still needed here." Ndukwe left disappointed. Dera, who had been standing quietly behind the door, felt everything that night. She lay on her mat, clutching her mom's drum, and cried until her heart hurt. One hot afternoon, Nkechi sent Dera to clean a large portion of farmland alone. The sun was harsh, and the line was blending. Her hand ached, her back burned, but she kept working. Suddenly, a woman appeared. She had kind eyes and a gentle smile, and wore a simple white gown. Suddenly, a woman appeared. She had a kind eyes and a gentle smile, and wore a simple white gown. "Let me help you," the woman said. Dera stepped back. "No, thank you, Mama. I can do it myself." "I insist," the woman replied. To Dera's amusement, the woman walked faster than anyone she had ever seen. In no time, the field was clean. "Thank you so much, Mama," Dera said, panting. "You are welcome, my child. I'll be watching you. You are strong, kind, and patient. Never lose that." "Who are you?" "I don't know you," Dera asked. The woman smiled gently. "I live in the forest. I have no family, but I've been watching over you for a long time. You remind me of someone I once loved." This was not the first time Dera had seen her. Over the months, the mysterious woman had appeared during Dera's hardest days, sometimes bringing food, sometimes offering comfort with just a kind heart or helping hands. She never shared her name, but her presence always brought peace. One day, the priest of the land, Emeka, returned from the city after studying abroad for many years. The king, his father, organized a grand celebration to welcome him. There was music, food, dancing, and a call for everyone in the village to attend. Nkechi dressed her daughters in the finest clothes she could afford. Their heads was neatly braided into elegant style, adorned with colorful beads that clung as they moved. The girls looked radiant and ready for the grand celebration at the palace. Before leaving, Nkechi turned to Dera with a cold expression and dropped a bundle of firewood at her feet. "Split this firewood before we return," she commanded, "and listen carefully. If I see you anywhere near the palace, you will regret the day you were born." She turned to her father, who stood quietly in the corner of the compound, but he simply looked away, avoiding her gaze, as if she were invisible. Tears spilled down from Dera's eyes as she carried the axe to the backyard. Her hands trembled. Every stroke of the wood sent pain shooting up her arms. Her palms were blistered, blood mingling with her sweat. She felt weak, but she did not stop until a gentle voice broke the silence. "My child, rest," said the woman again, the same mysterious figure who had helped her before. This time, she carried a basket full of food. "It is something," the woman said, placing the basket before her. "I will find someone to help you." Dera looked at her, pleased. "But how do you know where I lived?" she asked. The woman smiled softly. I know all I need to know. Though confused, Dera obeyed. She sat beneath the tree, ate the food quickly, and rested for a while. When she finally returned to the pile of the firewood, she froze in shock. Everything had been spun neatly and perfectly. She looked around in disbelief. No one was in sight. Her heart pounded with wonder. Meanwhile, at the palace, the king stood before the royal court and addressed the people gathered there. His voice was strong and clear. My son is ready to choose a wife, he declared. In next 2 weeks, all the maidens in the land shall gather here. They will display their talent before the prince. He is a lover of music and dance, and will choose who entertains him best. The news spread like wildfire across the kingdom. Young maidens rushed to learn new songs, dance, and performances. Hope blossomed into many hearts, especially in Nkechi's. She quickly hired a professional dancer to train her daughters, bought them new wrappers, shiny beads, and even matching ankles. She enjoyed the harsh the bell routine prepared for the grand contest. Dera heard the news and her heart ached with longing. She had always loved music, especially the talking drum her late mother left for her. Her mother had taught her how to play it, how to sing with soul, and how to connect with the rhythm of the drum. One quiet evening, while Nkechi and her daughters were away, Dera sneaked into her mother's hut and took her the treasured drum. She began to play and sing, her voice soft but filled with passion. However, one day Nkechi caught her. What nonsense is this? She barked. Are you seriously practicing so you can join the other maidens at the palace? Do you think the prince will even look at you twice? Are you not ashamed? Nkechi yanked the drum from Dera's hand and slammed it to the ground. With a wicked glint in her eyes, she grabbed kerosene and matches and set the drum on fire. No, please! That was my mother's. Dera cried out, desperately trying to quench the flame. Please, that drum is all I have left of her. But Nkechi shoved her aside and watched the drum burn to ashes. You are nothing but a disgrace, she spat. Instead of wasting time, go to the farm, clear the weeds. If you don't finish it before night fell, I will personally send you to join your dead mother in the grave. Dera dragged her feet to the farm, feeling crushed and broken. She stared at the weeds, overwhelmed by emotion, and the pain in her chest felt unbearable, as if something inside her was dying. Suddenly, the woman appeared again, holding a brand new turkey drum in her hand. Dera's eyes widened in surprise. How do you know? She asked. I saw what happened, the woman replied gently. Take this. Come here every day and practice. Hit the drum here. No one must see it. The prince has a special love for the talking drum. And you, my child, are the only one who can play it the way he likes. Dera blinked in disbelief. Why? Why are you helping me? She asked, her voice trembling. The woman smiled and placed her hand on her shoulder. Because you are hardworking and because you must shine. 2 weeks later, the day of the performance finally arrived. Nkechi dressed her daughters like royalty. Their outfits sparkled, their skin glowed, and their hair was adorned with fresh beads. Meanwhile, she handed Dera a large bowl of palm kernels. Break all of this before I return, she ordered. And don't even think about stepping feet near the palace. Dera pleaded. Please, I want to go too. I have something to offer. Just give me a chance. Before she could finish, her stepsister burst out laughing. What talent do you have? Is it this rag they are wearing that you want to show the prince? Ijoma mocked. Ifeoma added with a sneer. Maybe she's going to contest for a Mad Woman of the Year. Just look at her hair. Nkechi walked over to Dera, grabbed her by the ear, and said, I don't want to see your shadow near the palace. The prince is not looking for a girl like you. Stay here and mind your dirty chores. With that, she and her daughter left, heading to the palace. the laughter fading into the distance. Dera sat on the ground, feeling numbed, and then her mind began to race. I must go. I just must. Suddenly, like magic, the woman appeared again, but this time she carried more than just a drum. She had a basket full of beautiful clothes, perfume, oil, brand of soap, and a fine wooden comb. Go and bathe, the woman said kindly. I will wait. Dera obeyed. When she returned, clean and refreshed, the woman tied her hair into intricate braids, rubbed sweet scented oil on her skin, and dressed her in a vibrant wrapper. She adorned her wrists and ankles with beads and handed her the talking drum. Why are you doing all this for me? Dera asked, her voice full of wonder. The woman gently held her shoulder and looked into her eyes. You will know soon enough. Now go, child, and let your light shine. Dera looked into the mirror the woman had handed her and gasped. She did not recognize herself. She looked like a princess. She turned and hugged the woman tightly, saying, Thank you, thank you. Go now, the woman whispered. I will be watching. At the palace, maids danced and sang, but the prince sighed quietly, his expression blank and unimpressed by the performances. Then Dera arrived, her talking drum in hand. The crowd gasped, stunned by her glowing appearance. Who was this beautiful young woman? They asked. After all the maiden had performed, Dera stepped forward. She played the talking drum with grace and precision, and then sang in her mother's dialect. The sound echoed across the palace walls like a call from the ancestors. The prince, who had not smiled all the day, leaned forward and smiled for the first time. He took out his flute and joined her in music. When the performance ended, the palace fell in silence for a moment before a thunderous applause erupted. The people clapped, cheered, and rose to their feet. The prince turned to his father and whispered something in his ear. The Igwe rose from his throne and raised his staff. My people, he declared, the prince has made his choice. He chooses the maiden with talking drum. He chooses Dera as his bride. Cheers filled the air. Some wept with joy, others simply stared in wonder. But from the back of the crowd, a voice rang out, full of rage. She's a thief, Nkechi shouted, standing abruptly. She stole that drum and those clothes. She cannot afford them. Gasps for sure rippled through the crowd as all eyes turned to Dera. The Igwe rose his staff for a silence and turned to the young woman. Dera, is this true? He asked firmly. Before she could speak, a mysterious woman stepped forward from among the crowd. She wore a simple wrapper, but her voice carried strength and dignity. It is a lie, she said calmly. I gave her those clothes. I gave her the drum. Her stepmother has maltreated her since she was a child. She beat her, starved her, and even barred her from keeping the last memory she had of her late mother. Mama said, reported from the crowd, as several women stood up. She's telling the truth, one said. We have seen it with our own eyes. We tried to stop Nkechi, another one added, but she wouldn't listen. She treated Dera like a slave. The king turned slowly to Nkechi, his face filled with disappointment. For lying before the king and for maltreating your stepdaughter, you shall serve here in the palace for 7 months. You will learn humanity and kindness through service. The crowd repeated in cheers. The prince stood and took Dera's hand proudly, while Ifeoma and Ijeoma, Nkechi's daughter, couldn't take their eyes off the scene. Ikenga, Dera's father, hung his head in shame. Later that evening, Dera found the mysterious woman behind the palace near a quiet corner. Thank you, Dera said softly, tears streaming down her face. I don't know how to repay you. The woman held Dera's hand gently and looked into her eyes. Don't scream, she said, but I must tell you something very important. Dera nodded slowly. I'm your mother, the woman whispered. But my mom is dead, Dera replied, shock written across her face. Yes, I died, but my spirit could not rest while you suffered. But now I can go in peace, knowing you are in a safe place. Tears poured freely down Dera's face. She opened her mouth to speak, but no word came out. Overwhelmed with emotion, she covered her mouth. Her mother smiled softly, waved, and slowly vanished into the evening breeze like a fading dream. 2 days later, the palace was filled with music and joy. The wedding was grand and colorful. Dera was adorned in the finest color beads, a flying silk gown, and a royal head prize that sparkled like the stars. She danced, sang, and smiled throughout the day. Her joy infectious. Ikenga, now humble and full of regret, approached her. He knelt before her and begged for forgiveness. Dera forgave him, even though the pain of the past still lingered in her heart. Her kindness touched many that day. As she sat beside the prince, her new husband, Dera looked at the clear blue sky and whispered, "Thank you, Mama." From that day forward, the talking drum no longer echoes sorrow. It's built with joy, pride, and hope. In the village across the land, folk songs were sung about a brave girl who played the drum, married a prince, and was so deeply in love by a mother that not even death could take them apart. Thanks for watching.